We are your official Wildcat and Lady Cat station, KSST 1230 AM in Sulphur Springs, Texas. It's time for Wildcat basketball regional semifinal from Garland. Calling tonight's game is KSST Sports Director Don Julian. Don?
Well, James Terry, thank you very much and welcome everyone into the Curtis Colwell Center here in Garland. And looks like we're getting ready for the national anthem as everybody rises here. I know we're a little early, but...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Curtis Colwell Center. In order to ensure your enjoyment and safety while visiting us, please listen to the following instructions. Please take time to notice where the exits are and which exit location is closest to you. Our attendants will be stationed in each section. In the event of an emergency, please remain calm and look for the nearest attendant or security officer for exit instructions. People in rows A through F will exit via the arena floor through the doors located under the video board. People in rows G through Z will exit via the upper concourse by exiting the arena at the top of the section. Ushers and attendants will be stationed at the top of each section for further instructions to the nearest exit. If at any time while you are here you need assistance, please ask your nearest attendant. Again, welcome to the Curtis Colwell Center.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Curtis Colwell Center for the Class 5A Region 2 Boys Basketball Tournament. Game 1 tonight will feature the Highland Park Scots and the WildCats of Sulphur Springs High School. Coach David Keeler leads Highland Park into tonight's game with a record of 26 wins and 9 losses. The Scots were champions of District 11 5A and defeated Seagoville, Lovejoy, and Kimmel High Schools in round 2 tonight's semifinal game. The WildCats of Sulphur Springs High School, led by Coach Clark Cipolletta, finished as the champions. They had an overall record of 28 wins and 8 losses. The Wildcats defeated John Tyler, Midlothian, and Lufkin High Schools on their way to this Region 2 semifinal. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor our nation with the presentation of our national anthem.
Our national anthem. I'll get the starting lineups.
Tonight's first Region 2 semifinal game. First, the WildCats of Sulphur Springs High School. Left forward, 6'1" junior, number 3, Prince Dora. Right guard, 6'1" junior, number 10, Dylan Powell. And left forward, 6'1" sophomore, number 21, Worthy Wiles. Head coach of the Scots is David Cooper. Assistants are Travis Snowden, Carter Mead, Jeff Barrows, and Colin Springer.
And there's starting lineups, and we're just about ready to get this one tipped off. Looks like we're going to be a little early tonight, by about 5 minutes or so. Teams getting their final instructions. Again, the Highland Park starters, Riley Seabold, Finn Corwin, Dylan Powell, also Worthy Wiles, and Prince Dorbach. Xavier Cork for the Wildcats, Jeremiah Rowland, Keaston Willis, Sadadrian Hall, and Cameron Kahn. They're in the center circle now. Dorbach jumping against Cork, and he steals the tip, and they're going to re-jump. So they'll do it all over again. Cork kind of really did anticipate that and didn't get very high up in the air. Now the ball's up near Cork, got that one too. Here come the Wildcats as we open the ball game with Willis across the midline from the beautiful Curtis Colwell Center. Jeremiah Rowland, top of the key to Xavier Cork. Cork over to Willis. Willis works around a Cork screen, gets it to Day Hall. He thought about the three. Here's Cameron Kahn for three. That's off the iron, no good. And the rebound to Highland Park came down to Wiles. And here come the Scots. Powell with the ball outside to Corwin. Corwin, a big assist man for the Scots. Gives it to Wiles. Now they'll work into Dorbach. He puts up the shot and hit it. So Prince Dorbach with the basket, and the Scots have a 2-0 lead. Here comes Jeremiah Rowland. He'll head across the midline. 7:02 left here in the first quarter, and Highland Park ahead 2-0. Day Hall has it outside the arc, gives it over to Xavier Cork and to Kahn outside the arc. Day Hall for three. Good by Day Hall. So Dadrian will hit the bucket, and we're tied at 2. 6:42 left here in the first quarter. This is Corwin with the ball. Works it over to the hot shooter, Seabold. Hands off to Powell. Down low to Dorbach. And Corwin started driving in, a traveling violation. It'll go back to the Wildcats on the violation against Corwin. Day Hall into Keaston Willis. Willis being dogged by the smaller Finn Corwin. And Willis across the midline. Wildcats and Highland Park. Whoop, somebody got a three there. Oh, of course they did. Day, excuse me. Xavier Cork outside. It is 3-2, the Wildcats lead. That'll be my last snap, I promise. Day Hall gives it to Cork for a three. Good by Xavier Cork. Holy cow. The Wildcats leading 6-2 on a pair of threes by Cork and Hall. Or actually one each. Corwin goes around the screen, drives in, and his pass was blocked by Cameron Kahn, who was exulting after that block. We'll go back to Highland Park on the baseline. 5:44 left in the first quarter. The Wildcats 6 and Highland Park 2. The officials in conversation now. And I guess a message to Clark Cipolletta, and now we're ready to go. Whatever that was, I'm not sure, but and Wiles got the pass. And Corwin will shoot the three for Highland Park. It's off, no good. Good rebound. Xavier Cork gives it over to Keaston Willis. Wildcats 6, Highland Park 2. 5:30 left here in the first quarter. Willis for three. Off the iron, off the front iron, no good. Highland Park with a rebound, Seabold. And here comes Corwin to Seabold. He penetrates in, puts it in the corner. And now driving toward the basket is Powell outside to Corwin. The assist leader for the Scots. drives to the free throw line, works it over to Powell. Powell down low to Wiles. Got it down to Dorbaugh. He puts up the shot. No good. Fight for the rebound. Good rebound by Cameron Kahn. He gets it over to Rowland, and Rowland will run for the Wildcats. They lead 6-2. 4:51 left in the first quarter. Day Hall, a 10-footer, is off the iron. No good. Rebounded by Dorbaugh. And he gives it away to Corwin, who runs in the lane. Here's an open three for Highland Park. It's off, no good, but the rebound by Corwin, one of the smallest players on the court. He sends it out to Wiles, down to Dorbaugh. And here's another three by the Scots, and he hit that one. That was by Dylan Powell, a three, and makes it a 6-5 ball game. The Wildcats lead, 4:20 left here in the first quarter. Easton Willis across the midline for the Wildcats. With 4:14 left here in the first quarter. Day Hall with the ball. Gives it over to Cameron Kahn. Kahn will shoot from the elbow. Good by Cameron Kahn. Wildcats shooting well early. And the Wildcats leading 8-5. 3:53 left in the first quarter. Corwin with the ball. Bounce low. Oh, a good play. Seabold missed the layup. Rebound by Keaston Willis. Willis coming down the court. Oh, he dribbled it off his back shoe, the back of his shoe. Corwin picks it up. And now the pass comes out to Seabolt. And Powell driving in. His pass was blocked out to Xavier Cork. Cork leading the fast break and laid it up and in. Cork from coast to coast with 5 points. And the Wildcats are leading 10-5 now. 3:22 left here in the first quarter. And Corwin with the ball. Gives to Seabold. Here's Powell for the three. Oh, did not draw iron, and air ball for Highland Park. 10-5, the Wildcats lead. 3:02 left here in the first quarter. And the official is having a conversation. They may add some time here. That clock continued to run for some time. It seemed like while they had play stopped here, and they changed it to 3:05. They added 3 seconds. Here come the Wildcats ahead 10-5 with just under 3 to play here in the first quarter. Jeremiah Rowland outside for the Wildcats. Rowland looking cross-court pass Willis. Willis, the long three, that's off, no good. He's 0 for 2 so far. And now the ball in the hand of Wiles. Wiles all the way down, blocked, but rebounded by Dorbaugh. His shot blocked. Got it back. Tried to get it back to Wiles, and it's picked off by Xavier Cork. And Cork got it back to Willis. Wildcats bench erupting as the Wildcats played that defense. Wildcats leading 10-5, 2:26 left here in the first quarter. Day Hall heads toward the basket. Kicks it out to Xavier Cork. Thought about the three. Cork heads in. Got a good bump and stop. Gets it over to Kahn and back to Rowland and back to Rowland. And he shoots and hits the three for Jeremiah Rowland. Wildcats have 3 threes in the first half. Timeout by Highland Park. 2:05 left in the first quarter. The Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 13 and Highland Park 5. Let's take a break and we'll be back in a moment. Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 13, Highland Park 5, as the Wildcats have hit 3 early threes. They've had one from Hall, Rowland, and Cork. And the Wildcats up 13-5 with just over 2 to play here in the first quarter. And here come the Scots across the midline with Finn Corwin. There's a new player in there we're going to have to identify. Corwin looking inside now, goes around a Dorba screen. Gets it over to that new player is Jack Feld. Feld now has the ball again. He's dribbling outside. Gets it over Prince Dorba. And over to Finn Corwin. Corwin to the free throw line. Kicks it back. Another new player in there, Hudson Clark. And now Seabold opens for a three, and he got it. Riley Seabold, who makes 4.5 threes a ball game, just made his first. 1:20 left in the first quarter. It's 13-8. The Wildcats up. Ball back to Cork, top of the key. As now Grayson McClure is in the ball game for the Wildcats. Day Hall on the dribble, gives to Willis. Willis over to McClure, and down low to Day Hall. Hall cross court. Jeremiah Rowland the three. That's off the iron, no good, but the rebound, Xavier Court. Back outside Rowland and over to Willis. Thought about the long three. He's being guarded by Corwin, who is 5'9". Willis is 6'3". Willis will go around the cork screen and spins into the lane, and the ball, they're going to have a foul down on the floor against one of the Scots. Prince Dorbo will pick up the foul. That's the first foul in the ball game. And a non-shooting foul for the Wildcats. They lead 13-8. The ball comes into Cork and outside to Rowland. Day Hall outside the arc. Day over to Grayson McClure. They're guarding him closely. Over to Keyston Willis. Willis bounce pass to Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland now backing out for the Wildcats, almost to midcourt to set the offense. Cross court it goes to Day Hall. He's way outside. Day being guarded there by Clark. Hall on the dribble. Now heads toward the basket over to Grayson McClure in the corner. He dribbles all the way back out and gives to Willis. Wildcats, they're playing for the last shot here. They've got 8 seconds left here in the first quarter. Willis now has 4. He's going to have to do something here. He drives in, puts up a floater. It's good, but they're going to wave it off and call a charge on Keyston Willis. Well, Willis charged as he hit the floater. He'll wave that off. And we're between quarters here as we've played the first quarter, and the Wildcats scored 13 and Highland Park had 8. So a 5-point lead for the Wildcats at the end of the first quarter. We'll take a break here and we'll be back in a moment. Now we start the second quarter. The Wildcats leading 13-8, and the Highland Park Scots will start with the ball, and now Jack Pease is in there. And he's dribbling the ball. Bounce inside. Now outside it goes. A lot of new faces out there. Pease, one of them. Ball in the hands of Wilds. A long shot off the iron, no good. Good rebound, Day Hall for the Wildcats. Wildcats lead 13-8, 7:37 left here in the second quarter. Ball in the hands of Jeremiah Rowland. Top of the key, Cameron Kahn. Kahn over to Grayson McClure. He's left open a three. Good by Grayson McClure. And the Wildcats leading 16-8 with 7:20 left here in the second quarter. Wildcats tip a pass, but Highland Park keeps possession. They'll work it around. Feld has the ball. Feld driving in. His shot is up. No good. Day Hall with a good rebound in traffic. And here comes Day with the ball. The Wildcats up 16-8 with 7:05 left here in the second quarter. Cameron Kahn left open the three. That's off. No good. Hall scrapped for the rebound, but Highland Park got it, and here they come. Here come the Scots. Pease with the ball. He works over to Feld. So Feld and Pease outside. Also got Clark, and this is Wiles. Pease has the ball again. Top of the key for the Scots. They drive in from the free throw line. Good. A two-pointer there by Jack Feld. And it's a 16-10 ball game now. The Wildcats lead with 6:25 left here in the second quarter. Across the midline, Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland directing traffic for the Wildcats. So Highland Park almost a complete new 5 here. Rowland outside. I think Wiles was the starter. Grayson McClure over to Jeremiah Rowland. Down low to Day Hall. Hall moving in. Puts up the shot. Good by Day Hall. Nice little jumper. Hall with 5 points. Wildcats leading 18-10. Highland Park down quickly. Now they'll set the offense. Jack Feld drives in. Here's Wiles putting it up. He missed the shot, but he got a good rebound and kicks the ball out. Here's a long three by Highland Park. Good. That's Jack Feld, who has all 5 of the Scots points here in the second quarter. It's 18-13, the Wildcats lead with 5:30 left here in the second quarter. Jeremiah Rowland across the midline for the Wildcats. Dribbling outside. Wildcats very deliberate in the offense. And goes out to Keyston Willis. Over to Grayson McClure. He'll shoot another three. Good by Grayson McClure. 6 points, 2 threes for Grayson. 5:07 left here in the second quarter. Wildcats leading 21-13, and they are hot from three-point land. Here's the Scots from 3. No good. And a rebounding foul. And I think it's going to be on Jeremiah Rowland. Trying to block out, I guess, on Jack Pease, but Rowland will pick up the foul. That's his first. Second team foul for the Wildcats. Highland Park has one. And the Scots to inbound underneath their own basket. And make Cork tuck in his shirt. And Highland Park to trigger in. I think Corwin is back in the ball game. And he's looking, bounces. Oh, Wilds put it up and in. They got to the Wildcats on that one on the inbound pass. And makes it a 21-16 ball game now. Wildcats up by 5 with 4:43 left here in the, make it 21-15 with 4:38 left here in the second quarter. Grayson McClure lobs for Cork. Cork moves Dorba, put up the shot, missed it. The rebound, Cameron Kahn. He started backing out with the ball, but he left the ball behind, and it bounced on the baseline, so it'll go back to the Scots. 21-15, Wildcats by 6. 4:25 left here in the second quarter. And across the midline with Finn Corwin. And Corwin, a bouncer to Powell. Powell driving across the arc. Here's a back cut. They'll send it over for an open 2, and it's off, no good. Cork with a good rebound. Wildcats doing a good job on the boards. Ball over to Jeremiah Rowland. He's down court. Wildcats leading 21-15. 4 minutes left here in the second quarter. Willis heads toward the basket. Reverse layup, no good. Follow shot, no good. Cameron Kahn missed the follow, and here comes Highland Park down by 6. Finn Corwin driving in, blocked into the cheap seats by Xavier Cork. Cork clapping his hands, and the official, I think, warning him about any kind of taunting there. So Xavier Cork has drawn the ire of the official there. And just a warning right now for Cork, and the referee goes over to Coach Cipolletta. And Clark Cipolletta is going to ask for a full timeout here. He wants everybody to cool down a little bit before the Wildcats get teed up. No, they're actually, let's take that back. They just subbed in. They took Cork out. And now Highland Park will throw the ball in. Over to Wiles outside the arc. He gets it over to Seabold. And to Finn Corwin. Corwin into the lane, puts up the shot, short, no good. Rebound, Jeremiah Rowland. The Wildcats will run. Rowland bounces to Day-Day Hall. He almost lost the ball, threw it out to Cameron Kahn. Kahn headed into the lane and then tried to put on the brakes, and I think he shuffled his feet a little bit, trying to put on the brakes. Crowd did not like the call, but Cameron Kahn called for a travel. Wildcats 21, getting a little sloppy here. Wildcats 21, Highland Park 15. 3:20 left here in the second quarter. Wildcats being a little fast and loose with the ball, as they'll do sometimes. Ball down low to Wiles. Wiles, a reverse layup. The shot is blocked. It was blocked out, and Prince Dorba chased it down. Here's a 3 by Seabold, and it's good. He's hit both the threes that he's taken. I believe that's correct. And Highland Park back to within 3 here at 21-18. The 2:56 left here in the second quarter. Ball outside, Jeremiah Rowland. Almost stolen from Rowland, then he bounced it off Seabold for Highland Park. Looked like Seabold pushed Rowland, and the crowd is up wanting a tee. Boy, none of the Sulphur Springs crowd missed that. And now Seabold is getting a warning from that same official that gave Xavier Cork the warning a while ago. So both teams have been duly warned about any kind of stuff. Don't want the game to get out of hand with some chippy stuff. And now a couple of players leaning on each other, and the official goes in and says cease and desist. Again, no foul, just a warning. Jeremiah Rowland to trigger in the ball for the Wildcats. 2:46 left in the second quarter, and the Wildcats are up 21-18. They have led just about throughout. Ball over to Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland cross court to Cameron Kahn. Kahn bounce pass to Willis. He laid it up and in. He leaned on the rim, and they wave it off. Oh, my. What kind of call is that? My goodness. I mean, you've got to catch yourself if you think you're going to fall, but he got Willis for hanging onto the rim. I don't know about that one. But the official has the word, and my word doesn't count. 2:24 left here in the second quarter. Wildcats leading 21-18. Highland Park with a chance to tie it up with a three. Corwin drives in, gives it over to Wiles. Wiles into the lane, bounces to Prince Dorba. It's back over to Corwin, and his three-pointer timeout taken as the three-pointer by Corwin goes in. That's his first basket, and we're tied at 21 with 2:05 left here in the second quarter. The Wildcats have kind of gone into a lull here with some not so good basketball. So we are tied 21-21, and in the second quarter, let's take a break, and we'll be back in a moment. And here come the Wildcats. The ball into Keyston Willis. He heads across the midline, closely guarded by Finn Corwin. Gives the ball to Day Hall. Hall over to Cork, and around it goes to Cameron Kahn. Back outside Day Hall. Left side Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland cross court to Kahn. Kahn will give it to Willis. And now an offensive foul on one of the Wildcats for setting an illegal screen. So the Wildcats continue to just make some really, really bad mistakes. Xavier Cork on the foul. That's the third on the Wildcats. Highland Park has one foul. And Corwin with the ball. Bounce pass to Wiles. Outside it goes to Powell. And Corwin with a three. Oh, that air ball. Oh, Highland Park, he was out of bounds, and he somehow bounced it off a Wildcat. I'm not even sure the Wildcat was in bounds. But the official bought it, and will give Highland Park the ball back. Now Day Hall is saying, hey, our man was out of bounds. But Highland Park got it. They get it into Wiles. He's left wide open for a shot. Now driving into the lane, back outside. Wiles will shoot the three, and it's off the front iron, no good, and rebounded by Highland Park. They drive in, give it to Dorba, back outside Corwin. He drives into the lane. His pass tip, stolen by the Wildcats. Here comes Cameron Kahn. Kahn heading down the court. Now he slows and gives it to Day Hall. And Day with the ball. Gives it over to Cameron Kahn. He shoots the three. Good by Cameron Kahn. Breaks a really bad streak for the Wildcats. And they go up 24-21. 47 seconds left here in the first half. Ball worked around now to Feld. And back over to Corwin. Goes around the Wild screen. Oh, he threw it right to Day Hall. Hall, the back behind the back dribble. And a whistle blows. And a foul on one of the Scots. And I did not see which one, and they've yet to put it up on the scoreboard. There it goes, the first foul now on Feld. Wildcats have 30 seconds now, and they're kind of holding the ball outside. They lead 24-21. See if Park can get them to take the last shot. Sometimes they have difficulty doing this. 20 seconds now. And now they'll start the clock on Keyston Willis. He gets it over to Day Hall, and he hadn't been pressured yet. 12 seconds now for the Wildcats to get it into offense here. Ball is bounced to Cork. Cork gives it back to Willis. Willis, a little floater is good for Keyston Willis. And before Highland Park can take a shot, they fling the ball down the court, but it's too late as Keyston Willis gets a shot right before the buzzer, and the Wildcats take a 5-point lead into the half as they scored the last 5 points. And they lead 26-21 at the end of the first half. For the Wildcats, they had 13 more points in the second quarter. They had 13 and 13 for 26. And for Highland Park, they had 8 and 13. So very even second quarter at 13-13. And we're at the half with the Wildcats leading the Highland Park Scots by the score of 26-21. We'll take a break here. We'll come back and tell you who scored what as the Wildcats lead the Scots at the half, 26-21. Back in a moment. And we're at the half. The Wildcats leading the Highland Park Scots by the score of 26-21. And let's review the scoring. We'll start with the scoring for the Highland Park Scots, and they are being led by Riley Seabold, who has 6 points on 2 threes, 1 in each quarter. And Seabold averages 19.3 a game. And also, he's hit 131, now 133 threes. Actually, I'm not sure. These stats were at the end of the season, so these may be regular season stats that I got from the morning news. But he had hit 131 and hit 4.5 a game. So he's halfway there, as he's got almost. He's got 2. So 6 points for Seabold, 5 points for Jack Feld, who came in off the bench. 3 points for Finn Corwin, the little 5'9" senior point guard. 3 points for Dylan Powell. 2 points for Prince Dorba, who gave Dallas Kimball a really tough time. I think he's a big football player for the Highland Park team. And Worthy Wiles scored 2 points for Highland Park. So that's the scoring for the Scots. Now for the Wildcats, they're being led in scoring. I could give you 5 guesses, and you might not guess this one. How about Grayson McClure? Way to go, Grayson. Grayson had 2 threes there in the second quarter for 6 points to lead the Wildcats. 5 points for Xavier Cork, including a 3. 5 points for Cameron Kahn, including a 3. And 5 points for Sadadrian Day Hall, including a 3-pointer. A 3-point basket for Jeremiah Rowland. He's got 3. And Keyston Willis with 2. And that's the scoring for the Wildcats through the first half. And again, they scored the last 5 points in that quarter to take a lead of 26-21 after the Scots had rallied all the way back from a fairly significant lead. I can't remember exactly what it was. I know at one time it was 21-15. It may have even been more than that. It may have been like an 8-point lead. But Highland Park came all the way back, and the Wildcats just really got sloppy with a lot of things that weren't that didn't look so good. But the Wildcats turned it on there right before the half with 5 points to go up to 26-21. Again, for Highland Park, 8 points first quarter, 13 second quarter. For the Wildcats, 13 points first quarter, 13 points second quarter. So that's the statistical picture as the Wildcats leading Highland Park in this regional semifinal. And later on today, we will have Lancaster playing Frisco Lone Star. That was one of the teams the Wildcats played last year. We beat Lone Star in the second round, but they're back, and they'll be playing Lancaster. And Lancaster, they would be the favorite in this tournament. They've only lost 2 games, and they're ranked number 1 in Class 5A. The Wildcats ranked number 4. And I don't believe that either Highland Park or Frisco Lone Star is ranked. But that's why you play it on the court. You don't go by those rankings. And Wildcats again leading Highland Park 26-21. Let's take one more break here, and we'll come back and start the third quarter. And again, the Wildcats up on Highland Park after 2 quarters. Wildcats 26 and Highland Park 21. Before I do that, let me tell you, boys basketball. Don't miss the UIL Boys Basketball State Tournament March 7th through the 9th at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Tickets are available for purchase now through Ticketmaster. For more information, visit uiltexas.org. And that's all we have for right now. We'll take this break, come back in just a moment. And just seconds away from the start of the third quarter, the Wildcats leading Highland Park by the score of 26-21. The team's in the huddles right now, getting some final instructions from the head coaching staffs. And here comes Highland Park. They've got Prince Dorba coming out, Finn Corwin, also Worthy Wiles, and Dylan Powell is coming out, and I'm sure Seabold is that 5th one. Yes, indeed. Wildcats with Xavier Cork, Day Hall, Jeremiah Rowland, Keyston Willis, and Cameron Kahn. So I think this is pretty much starting lineups here. And the Wildcats will start with possession of the ball. They send it into the backcourt for Keyston Willis. Here come the Wildcats as we start the third quarter. The Wildcats up by 5. Left side to Cameron Kahn. Kahn to the free throw line to Day Hall. Right side it goes to Jeremiah Rowland. And Rowland will dribble out, gives it to Cork, top of the key. Left side to Cameron Kahn. Kahn down low to Xavier Cork. Had to make a very nice catch. Cork heading to the bucket. Gets it outside Rowland. Down low, Day Hall. Hall backs in and kicks it out Rowland. Wildcats deliberate on offense now. Rowland goes around the screen, gives it to Cork. Cork to Cameron Kahn. He thought about the three. Gives it to Day Hall. He's splashed one home today. Gives it over to Keyston Willis. Willis heads to the basket. A 10-footer on the way. Good by Keyston Willis. Boy, I love to see him come out hot in the third quarter. He's got 4 points now. The Wildcats leading 28-21. 7 minutes left, third quarter. Here's a cut behind the basket. Now they kick it back or under the basket. Here's a three by Highland Park. It's off, no good. Good rebound by Xavier Cork. He ripped it away from Seabold, and now Cork will tie a shoe. Here's Cameron Kahn for three. That's off, no good, and Dorba gets the rebound. And boy, just got that shoe tied in time. There are three by Highland Park. Misses, no good, and Cork got the rebound. And here comes Xavier across the midline. Right side it goes, Cameron Kahn. Wildcats up 28-21 with 6:26 left here in the third quarter. Day Hall outside. Gives the ball over to Willis. Almost stolen. Willis slashes to the bucket. Lays it up off the glass. No good. Prince Dorba the rebound. And here comes Highland Park. Down by 7. Dorba. Pass over in the corner to Finn Corwin. Corwin outside Prince Dorba. Hands off to Seabold. And here's the three by Corwin. In and off, no good. Rebound for the Wildcats. It just hit on the baseline. Day Hall had it, but he lost control. He bounced it to get control back, and he bounced it on the inline. Back to Highland Park Scots. 5:58 left here in the third quarter, and the Wildcats up by 7. Corwin works it over to Powell. Powell driving around, gives it to Seabold. Seabold to the free throw line, over to Corwin, and a traveling violation on the Scots to turn it back over to the Wildcats. 5:47 left here in the third quarter. Wildcats leading 28-21. And Rowland gets it into Willis and back to Rowland. And Jeremiah, very deliberate Wildcats offense tonight. Not in a hurry. Across the midline for Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland outside the arc. We'll pass it over to Keyston Willis. A long three. That's off the iron. No good. And the rebound to Wiles. Wiles will run for Highland Park. And Willis confronts him, but the follow shot is good by Dorba with a good offensive rebound. And Prince Dorba has 4 points. And Highland Park back to within 5 at 28-25 with 5:17 left here in the third quarter. Day Hall gives it over to Cameron Kahn. Kahn outside the arc to Xavier Cork. Cork lobs for Day Hall. It hit the backboard, and Highland Park comes out of there with it again. Wiles steaming down the court, and he drew a foul on one of the Wildcats. It's either Kahn or Cork. Cameron Kahn, I think. And that's the first foul on Cameron Kahn. And this is a shooting foul, and here's Worthy Wiles. He has 2 points in the game, has not been a part. The Scots have not shot a free throw. I don't think the Wildcats have either. No free throws so far in the game except this one. And he got it. Oh, boy, you talk about a shooter's roll. That hit the back of the rim, went all the way almost over the front rim, and then just kind of daintily fell in there. That is a shooter's touch. My goodness. Another free throw coming from Worthy Wiles here. And this one, no doubt on that one, nothing but net. Wiles has 4 points and 2 for 2 from the foul line, and the lead is trimmed to 3 now for the Wildcats, 28-25. Cameron Kahn with the ball for the Wildcats. Kahn gives it over to Day Hall. It's ripped away by Highland Park, and here they come on the fast break. Finn Corwin a three. It's off, no good. Big rebound comes down to Seabold. Tried to load up the three, now passes cross court to Powell. Powell drives in and hit the layup. Oh my! Highland Park just down by 1 here as they refuse to go away. They were down 28-21. They've had a 6-point run against the Wildcats. Wildcats 28, Highland Park 27. 4:32 left here in the third quarter. We'll take the break with them. Back in a moment. 4:32 left here in the third quarter. Highland Park with a 6-point run here as they were down 28-21, but They have come right back. Another one of these teams that will not go away, and that's the kind of teams you have in the playoffs. The ball comes in to Keyston Willis. Willis in the backcourt for the Wildcats. Gives it over to Cameron Kahn. Kahn to Jeremiah Rowland. Gives it to Day Hall. Hall looking inside, right side, Rowland. Cork, top of the key. Gives it over to Willis. Willis gives it back to Cork. Cork begins to move. Jump shot is good by Xavier Cork. Nice little shot put up, and Cork has 7. And the Wildcats back up by 3 now. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Wildcats leading 30-27. Finn Corwin with the ball. Works to Seabold and now to Prince Dorba, who drives in. Contact. Missed the shot. Tip shot no good. Got the rebound. Pours it into the corner. Powell for 3. Hit the iron no good. Rebound to Day Hall. Hall running down the court, but he's 1-on-2. And he moved in. Looked like he lost possession of the ball, and they say off of Highland Park. Boy, Dorba picked that ball up and was ready to slam it into the floor as he felt like the Scots had missed an opportunity there to get that ball back. And now Willis to throw in for the Wildcats up by 3. Lob into Day Hall. Wildcats up by 3. And now stripped away again. And here comes Highland Park. Dorba heads down. The layup is good. Prince Dorba with 6 points. And it's a 1-point game again. 3:25 left here in the third quarter. Wildcats leading 30-29. Keyston Willis down the court. Willis around the screen, and as Finn Corwin tried to slap the ball from behind, they called him for the foul. He didn't particularly like it, I don't think. That's his first. That's first team foul. Each team has only 1 here in the third quarter. Wildcats to throw in, leading by 1 at 30-29. There's 3:17 left here in the third quarter. And now the ball comes into Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland being guarded by Seabold. Now Day Hall has the ball. Hall hands off to Willis and to Cork. Back behind the arc. Gets it over to Cameron Kahn, to Day Hall, and to Jeremiah Rowland. The Wildcats all around the arc there. Heads over to Kahn. Now he'll back away and give it over to Willis. He'll shoot the 3, and it's, in and out. No good by Willis. Here comes Highland Park with a chance to move ahead. And driving in for the Scots, they give it to Prince Dorba. His shot is blocked, and then Kahn saved it inbounds to Keyston Willis. Nice play by Cameron Kahn, and good block by the Wildcats. Keyston Willis heading down the court. Works it over. A very slow pass and intercepted Highland Park. Seabold the 3. He got it, and he posed after he made the shot. And Seabold with 9 now and 3 threes. And Highland Park leads the Wildcats now 32-30. Ball in the hands of Day Hall. Hall gives it over to Jeremiah Rowland. Xavier Cork, he lobs it into Day Hall. Hall put it up and in with a nice little shot around the basket. So Adrian Hall was 7. And the Wildcats and Highland Park tied 32-32. 1:56 left here in the third quarter. They try to back cut, and the Wildcats blocked it, and they get it back to Jeremiah Rowland. And here comes Rowland across the midline in a tie game. He gives it over to Willis, and we've got a blocking foul on Highland Park. This will go against Dylan Powell. That's his first. That is the second foul on Highland Park here in the second half. The first on the Wildcats have 1 as Grayson McClure checks in, placing Cameron Kahn. Highland Park 2 in and 2 out. I think Feld is back in there. And also I think they brought Hudson Clark back in there. Here's the ball lobbed in to Day Hall. Hall holding the ball high and passes out to Keyston Willis. Willis will drive in, dumps it off to Cork and over to Rowland for 3. That's off, no good. Cork with a rebound. Cork lets Dorba go by and lays it up and in. Nice offensive move by Xavier Cork, who has 9 points. And the Wildcats leading 34-32 with 1:23 left here in the third quarter. Finn Corwin. Corwin penetrates on the baseline, then kicks it out. Driving in, tried to get it low, and stepping into the base in the passing lane was Xavier Cork. Gives it over to Grayson McClure. McClure across the midline, had it tapped from behind again by Corwin, and they call another foul. That's the second time he's tried that back tap, and the second time the official has called it. 2 fouls now on Finn Corwin. 5'9" senior for the Highland Park Scots. 1:01 left in the third quarter. Wildcats leading 34-32. And there's been a barn burner here. Looked like a game destined for the 40s maybe. Low scoring. Ball outside to Day-Day Hall. Right side, Grayson McClure. He hands off to Keyston Willis. Willis on the dribble, gives it to Cork, top of the key. He's going to launch the three. Good! By Xavier Cork, who's got 2 threes. That's got to be some kind of personal record, I would think. Wildcats leading by 5, 37-32, with just 31 seconds left here in the third quarter. Crowd standing, and it is a huge crowd from Sulphur Springs here tonight. But Highland Park's, I don't know if they've added some fans that have come for the second game, but they've gotten a large crowd now. It's a big house here. Last 13 seconds now as Finn Corwin waits for it to go down a little bit lower, and now he's in motion. And Corwin, they leave him open for a three. He missed the shot. Ball's tapped out. Corwin, follow shot off, no good. Rebound by Xavier Cork at the horn. And we've played 3 quarters here, and the Wildcats are back in a 5-point lead after the game got really tight. Only a 9-point quarter for the Wildcats and an 11-point quarter for the Highland Park Scots. So that Wildcats 5-point lead has actually it stayed 5. I did some misadding there. I'm going to have to redo that again. So, I see it. Hey, yeah, it was 11-11 in the quarter for each team to make it 37-32. Let's take the break here, and we'll come back with the start of the fourth quarter right after this. This big Sulphur Springs crowd, a lot of them are standing and clapping here as we come out in the fourth quarter. Highland Park possession of the ball, and the Wildcats leading 37-32. And hold on to your seats, folks. Here's the last 8 minutes of this one, maybe, outside the arc for Highland Park. This is Feld. He works it over to Powell. Powell on the dribble. He stops and passes over to Feld. Feld being guarded by Grayson McClure. He goes around the screen, drives in, hands it off to Wiles. His shot is up and good. Nice play there by Worthy Wiles. And Wiles has 6 points. Wildcats leading 37-34 with 7:26 left here in the fourth quarter, excuse me. Ball down low to Day-Day Hall. Hall puts up a short shot off the rim, no good. Got his own rebound. Day-Day will put it up again and missed it again. Now the rebound, Cork had it, and they're going to call a foul on Worthy Wiles. So Wiles will pick up his first foul as he ripped it away from Xavier Cork. And now the Wildcats have the ball outside the court. Wildcats by a 3-point lead, 37-34. Just over 7 to play here in the fourth quarter. McClure over to Cork, and he gets it over to Jeremiah Rowland. To Day-Day Hall, top of the key. Hands off to Keyston Willis. Boy, they're keeping Willis out of that lane. Here's a ball down low to Day-Day Hall. Hall, they're going to call an offensive foul. That looked like a flop to me. But a Highland Park flop called by the official. That was Hudson Clark picking up the offensive foul on the Wildcats. Let's see, first foul on Sadadrian Hall. And here comes the Scots now with a chance to tie it with a 3. And here's Powell trying to shoot that 3, and he got it. We're tied. Powell has 8 points. It's 37-37. 6:33 left here in the fourth quarter. Scots have scored 5 points. The Wildcats yet to tally. Day-Day Hall gives it over to Grayson McClure. McClure inside. Over to Cork. Cork hands it off Jeremiah Rowland. Day-Day Hall the 3. That's off, no good. Tipped out by Cork. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Xavier Cork. You tell me why a 6'9" guy has to foul anybody there. I don't know. But anyway, Cork draws the foul. That's his second. Highland Park getting a couple of nice calls there in recent times here in the ball game. And here come the Scots. 37-37 tie. 6:09 left here in the fourth quarter. Ball over to Seabold. Over to Worthy Wiles and around to Finn Corwin. Corwin into the lane, dishes low. The shot is put up and in by Wiles, who now has 8 points, and he's got 4 in the quarter. And Highland Park with a 39-37 lead, and they're going wild on the other side. Easton Willis outside. Willis gives it over to Grayson McClure. He passes low to Xavier Cork. Cork heads toward the basket, kicked it out. Willis the three. Good by Keyston Willis. And Willis has 7. And the Wildcats lead 40-39. 5:28 left here in the fourth quarter. Some fans standing, and they do not want to sit down. Not for this one. Corwin drives in, goes to the baseline, kicks it outside to Wiles. Crowd thought he walked here on this side. Didn't. Officials say no. Ball outside to Finn Corwin. Corwin penetrating in, and now kicks it back outside to Powell, who's hit a couple of threes. He drives in. His shot blocked by Day Hall. And now I think some Highland Park guys were rushing to pick their guy up after his shot got blocked, and some players kind of came in contact with each other, and the officials rule no harm and no foul. Cameron Kahn in, and Grayson McClure heads out. I don't think anybody had any evil intent. I think they just kind of bumped a little bit. Now Highland Park to trigger the ball in. It was tapped and almost stolen by the Wildcats. And Day Hall got a good piece of that. A pass in from Dylan Powell. Wildcats leading 40-39. 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. And timeout taken by the Highland Park Scots and their coach David Peeler. The Wildcats 40 and Highland Park 39. 5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. We'll take the break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. Wildcats football player Jermon Bryant Amos leading a few cheers down there. Down way, look like he's down in one of the lower rows off to our right. We're up at the top of this arena. Throw in by Highland Park. They trail by 1 with 5 minutes left. As they get it into Worthy Wiles, it went out of bounds. Wildcats touched it last, the officials say. It'll go back to Highland Park. The clock did not even start on that. Still has 5 minutes left to go. Ball comes into Prince Dorba. Outside Worthy Wiles. Corwin inside to Prince. Prince puts it up, missed the shot, and the rebound to Xavier Cork. Gives it over to Keyston Willis. Wildcats leading 40-39. 4:46 left here in the fourth quarter. Keyston Willis on the dribble. And they're going to call another offensive foul. Boy, Highland Park, any contact, and they are hitting the deck like they've been shot with a 30-06. And another call on Keyston Willis. The officials are liking that call. They might as well flop all day long if they're going to give you that call. So Highland Park just doing a smart play there that the officials seem to be liking. Ball comes over now to Wiles, to Powell, and now to Seabold. And back over to Powell. Powell penetrates in. Jeremiah Rowland doing a good job on Seabold. Here's Wiles, turns and shoots, misses the shot, no good. Rebound to Cameron Kahn. Kahn gives the ball over to Jeremiah Rowland. 4:13 left in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats leading 40-39. Day Hall with the ball. Hall looking inside, gives it over Jeremiah Rowland. Cross over to Xavier Cork, top of the key. Cork looking inside, gives it to Willis. Willis the three. Good by Keyston Willis. And the Wildcats have 10. Wildcats leading by 4 now, 43-39. 3:50 left here in the fourth quarter. Corwin with the ball, outside to Worthy Wiles. Passes the ball, Prince Dorba. Gives it over to Corwin. Corwin in to the free throw line, over to Prince Dorba. Left open, did not shoot. Gives the ball to Powell. He thinks about it and sends it over to Worthy Wiles outside the arc. They pass around the arc over to Finn Corwin, their assist man. Finn drives in, puts up the shot. It's good by Finn Corwin. He has 5 points. And the Scots cut the lead to 2 at 43-41 with 3:13 left here in the fourth quarter. The ball in the hands of Cameron Kahn. Kahn dribbling the ball outside over to Day Hall. Gives it to Jeremiah Rowland to Xavier Cork. Cork hands off to Kahn. Kahn backing out. Gives it over to Day. Willis for three. Good by Keyston Willis. and he's got 13. The Wildcats lead by 5, 46-41. 2:47 left. Here's a shot put in, and the floater goes by Finn Corwin, and he has 7 points. Timeout taken on the court. The Wildcats 46 and the Scots of Highland Park 43. 2:42 left here in the fourth quarter. And let's take a break, and we'll be back in a moment. Boys basketball, don't miss the UIL Boys Basketball State Tournament March 7th through the 9th at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Tickets are available to purchase now through Ticketmaster. For more information, visit uiltexas.org. Wildcats 46, Highland Park 43, 2:42 left here in the fourth quarter. And Jeremiah Rowland will throw in for the Wildcats. He lobs into Keyston Willis and back to Jeremiah Rowland. The Scots falling back on defense. Wildcats by 3. Rowland across the midline. And hands off to Cameron Kahn. Kahn goes around the screen to the free throw line over to Xavier Cork. Cork on the dribble. Will hand to Keyston Willis, and he's been red hot here in the fourth quarter. Down to Day Hall, right side to Cameron Kahn. And Kahn is fouled. I think that's on Seabold. That will be his first foul if that's the case. It'll be a non-shooting foul. Very low fouls in this half, 4 by each team. Cameron Kahn triggers it into Xavier Cork. 2:15 left in the fourth quarter, and the Wildcats are up 46-43. Jeremiah Rowland gets it over to Day Hall. Hall on the dribble. And will throw outside to Cameron Kahn. The Wildcats may be taking a little air out here with 2 minutes left to play, and the Wildcats up by 3. Ball into Cork, almost stolen by Prince Dorba, and he got the steal. And the Prince, his shot is blocked by Xavier Cork. As Dorba put up the shot, but Xavier Cork eliminating that shot. Cork considerably taller than Dorba. He's a big fella, 6'4", but Cork had 5 inches on him at 6'9". Powell now throws into Corwin. The Scots only down by 3. Here's a back cut, but the Wildcats break it up. I think they've seen that on film. Here's Jeremiah Rowland across the midline with the ball. The Wildcats up by 3 with 1:37 left here in the fourth quarter. Xavier Cork with the ball for the Wildcats. And he hands off to Keyston Willis, and timeout taken by Clark Cipolletta. The Wildcats 46, Highland Park 43, 1:30 left here in the fourth quarter. Let's take the break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. Teams still in the huddles, and now they come out on the court. Wildcats leading 46-43 here in the fourth quarter. Just 1:30 left in the ball game here. Still a long time to play and not much decided right now, a 3-point game. Ball comes into Xavier Cork. He hands off Jeremiah Rowland. Rowland now drives toward the basket, gets it over Day Hall, and outside to Cameron Kahn. Again, the Wildcats kind of in a delay game here. Kahn on the dribble. Kahn heading toward the basket. He hit the shot and he got fouled. Oh, a big play by Cameron Kahn. Will give the Wildcats a 5-point lead. And that, I missed the Scott that foul was on. Here's Cameron Kahn on the free throw. Off, no good. Big rebound to Highland Park. Wildcats lead by 5. 1:12 left here in the fourth quarter. Here's Seabold with the ball into the corner. Powell the 3. Good by Powell. A 3-point basket. Timeout taken, Highland Park. Powell has been good from outside. He's had, looks like 3 threes in the ball game and 2 here in the fourth quarter. 1:04 left to play here in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 48 and Highland Park 46. Let's take the break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. And here come the Wildcats. A crowd roaring their approval here for this last 1:04. The Wildcats with a 2-point lead over Highland Park at 48-46. Winner this to play Lancaster against Frisco Lone Star. It'll be our second game here. The ball comes in to Keyston Willis. And Willis in the backcourt. Clock hits 1 minute here. Willis working against Finn Corwin. And Willis is double teamed. Passes over to Day Hall. Hall is fouled by Prince Dorba. They're going to make the Wildcats get it done from the, well, this is a non-shooting foul. I would say make them earn it from the free throw line. They'll have to do it once more to get them to shoot. That's foul number 6. Sulphur Springs has 4. And now ball triggered in. The Wildcats get it in to Day Hall toward the basket. He laid it up and missed it, but got fouled. Prince Dorba showing, hey, I went straight up there. The official is may get him anyway. Yes, that is his 3rd. Seems to be the only player that's got 3 fouls. A low foul ball game here. Nobody's been in much foul trouble. Big free throws here for Sadadrian Day Hall. Hall's free throw is off, no good. Wildcats a 2-point lead. They would like at least a 3-point lead here to kind of give you at least some buffer so that a 3 doesn't put you behind. Big free throw here for Day Hall. He eyes the bucket, and the free throw is good by Day. He's got 8 in the game. And here comes Highland Park down by 3 with 40 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. They send it to Seabold in the corner. He shoots the 3, must have been partially blocked, and comes down to Xavier Cork. He gives it to Keyston Willis. And Prince Dorba bumped him, it seemed like more than once, and finally we got a timeout from Clark Cipolletta. And there was no foul call, so a full timeout here. 26.5 seconds left in the 4th quarter. The Wildcats 49 and Highland Park 46. We'll take the break with them and back in a moment. Wildcats leading 49-46. 26.5 seconds all that's left here in the 4th quarter. Jeremiah Rowland to trigger the ball in and gets it into Keyston Willis, and he was immediately fouled by Jack Feld. That's his 2nd. So they'll send Willis to the free throw line. And he has not been to the foul line yet. Not been a big game for foul shots. There's not been many in the ball game. Not many fouls, actually. Big 2 for Keyston Willis. He can make it a 2-possession ball game here. And this will be 1+1. So he has to make the first to earn a 2nd. In and out, no good. Oh, my. That's a couple of big misses for the Wildcats here in the 4th quarter. The Scots down by 3. And the ball tipped but almost stolen. Seabold got it back. Gives it over to Finn Corwin, and he calls timeout. And they'll check in with Coach David Peeler. 14.1 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. The Wildcats 49 and Highland Park 46. We'll take the break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. We are told that no Wildcat team has ever been to the regional tournament until this year. This is the furthest that any Sulphur Springs team has ever been, and they're trying to work their way into the regional final. They lead by 3, 49-46, with 14.7 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Highland Park probably working a play to free up Seabold for a 3. Here's a long pass over to Corwin, and he goes the baseline outside, an open 3 by Wiles. It's off, no good. A big rebound taken by Day Hall. And then Day fell. And we're going to get a foul on Highland Park. And this again will be the 1+1 for Day Hall. Foul is on Finn Corwin. That's his 3rd. And again, big free throws for the Wildcats. Sadadrian is 1 out of 2 from the foul line. And this will be 1+1. That was foul number 9 for Highland Park. Next foul, but of course, we've only got 8 seconds left in the game here. Big free throws for Sadadrian Day Hall. Biggest free throws maybe of his life. Day eyes the bucket. The free throw is good for Day Hall. That makes it a 4-point game with 8 seconds left. Now you can foul the shooter and have him make the 3. That is Highland Park would like to see a timeout taken on the court. With just 8 seconds left in the 4th quarter, a 4-point lead for the Wildcats, 50-46 over the Highland Park Scots. Let's take the break with them, and we'll be back in a moment. Well, the final 8 seconds of the ball game here at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas. And the Wildcats leading the Highland Park Scots 50-46. Another free throw coming for Sadadrian Day Hall, 6'5" junior. Day has the ball and he eyes the bucket. And the free throw is good by Day Hall. 5-point lead for the Wildcats, 51-46. Ball in the hands of Corwin. Corwin drives down, heading to the bucket. He lays it up. He missed the shot. The tip is no good. The follow shot is no good, and that's the ball game. And the Wildcats have won. The Wildcats are going to play in the regional final as they defeat the Highland Park Scots by the score of 51-46. In a closely contested ball game that neither team could build much of a lead, and if they did, the other team came right back. The Wildcats come out on top by the score of 51-46. They're going through the handshake line right now. Good sportsmanship after a tough, hard-fought game. Coach Cipolletta talking about these Highland Park Scots before the game, and he said they play tough as nails. That's how hard they play. And Highland Park really gave it an effort tonight, but the Wildcats come out in front by the score of 51-46. And a big ovation for the crowd. And now Grayson McClure, Cameron Kahn, some of the others coming over. There's Jeremiah Rowland, and they are enjoying the crowd, and the crowd is enjoying them. Let's send it back to James Terry now, and we'll add up all the scoring here as the Wildcats defeat Highland Park by the score of 51-46. 14-point final quarter for the Wildcats and a 14-point quarter also for Highland Park. So a lot of dead even quarters tonight. But the Wildcats win it by 5 points. And that was the difference in the first quarter. And then they played the next 3 quarters just dead even. So let's take a break here. We'll come back and give you all the scoring right after this break. And the Wildcats defeat the Scots of Highland Park in this regional semifinal. And the Wildcats record now goes to 28-8 on the season. And it has been a while since they've lost a ball game. It was to Little Rock Parkview. And that was a long time ago, back in the Whataburger tournament, probably back on December the 29th. The Wildcats have not lost in 2019. They have won 15 in a row. And they'll either play Lancaster or Frisco Lone Star, and those teams are getting ready to play this second game here at the Curtis Colwell Center. Let's give you scoring, first of all, for Highland Park. They got 11 points out of Dylan Powell. He was very good outside the three-point arc. 9 points for Riley Seabold. He had 3 threes. 8 points for Worthy Wilds. 7 points for Finn Corwin. 6 points for Prince Dorba. And 5 points for Jack Feld. And that's the Highland Park scoring. Again, by quarters, 8, 13, 11, and 14. For the Wildcats, they were led by Keyston Willis with 13 points. And Keyston hit 3 big threes in that fourth quarter when they really mattered. 12 points for Xavier Cork, the 6'9 center. 10 points for Sadadrian Day Hall. And after that, 6 points for Grayson McClure on a pair of threes in the second quarter. Oh, I forgot Cameron Kahn. He had 7 points. And then 3 for Jeremiah Rowland. That was a 3-point shot. The Wildcats 13 points, 13, and then 11 and 14. So a very even ball game after the Wildcats opened up that 5-point first quarter lead. Then at least at the end of the quarters, everything was even. So a big win for the Wildcats, and they will move into the regional final. That game will be at 1 o'clock here at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, and that'll be on Saturday afternoon. Wildcats have punched their ticket, and they're waiting for this game between Frisco Lone Star and the Lancaster Tigers, I believe they are. And that is going to do it for this broadcast. James Terry taking care of us back at home base. And Doug Hastings shooting video. This will replay on our cable channel, Channel 18. And that'll be coming up as soon as Doug can, well, I would say as soon as he can get it together. But we have an agreement with Highland Park that the game will not air until after the state tournament is completed. So it'll be at the completion of this basketball season, at the conclusion of the state tournament. I'm Don Julian with your play-by-play. Once again, our final score here from the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland. The Wildcats of Sulphur Springs 51 and the Highland Park Scots 46. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and so long.
Thank you, Don. This has been Wildcat basketball here on KSST 1230 AM Sulphur Springs, your official Wildcat and Lady Cat station. We'll go back to Good Time Oldies after this message.